Coach Dan. I've been with Parisi since 2011, so it's been a pretty long ride. I went to Temple University where I got my bachelor's in kinesiology, focused in exercise and sports science. Played basketball my whole life. Unfortunately, not at Temple. My career was over a little before college, but I always appreciated and enjoyed the process of training and the process of prepping for a sport. So I kind of fell in love with it and started studying it in college, and then did my internship here in Fairlawn at Parisi, and the rest is kind of history. I've been kind of hitting the ground running since. It's been a long ride, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, that's for sure. I think this is going to be a cliche answer, but the first thing that popped in my head is biggest myth, less is more is the truth. More is not better, is what I would say. A lot of what I see online in terms of Instagram or other coaches, not necessarily in the Parisi Network, just outside, always trying to find more. Even when I talk to parents, I'll have plenty of sessions where parents are like, I want more. And it's like, hit the brakes a little bit. Less is actually more. So I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's cliche. I'm sure other coaches probably have already said that. But I think that's the biggest thing. I think the more and more coaches understand that, and the more and more importantly, athletes and parents understand that, I think it'll be beneficial towards the process for the athlete. The connections that we make with the athletes. I'm really passionate about making that connection, because it's one thing to kind of put any athlete through a session, make an athlete sweat, kind of get them better. But when you really connect with them, when you show up at their games, and you support them, I think that's kind of a different level. And once you kind of reach that level with the athlete, it makes it a lot easier to bring out more in their performance, whether it's in the weight room, in their field, or on the court, whatever it may be. The connections that we can create, I think, are huge. It really, to me, kind of talks about the difference between a coach and, let's say, a personal trainer. So, and this is no disrespect to any personal trainers out there, but I like to kind of live by where a trainer can make you sweat, a coach can change your life. So I think that's huge, and I'm really passionate about that. Be an open book. Be able to absorb, learn, keep your ego in check, because this industry is always changing. It's always evolving. There's always new research coming out. So it's just be open to that. Keep your ego checked, and never be afraid to learn more. Never be afraid to continue your education. We should be learning on the job every day, whether it's through experience, through observing our peers, through other coaches in the industry. And don't get stuck in the same routine. Like, there's so much more out there, and like I said before, less is more. But being open to the research and everything that's coming out new, whether it's collegiate-based research or anything, I think it's extremely important to just be open to everything. And the ego, keeping that checked, is huge too. I've always wanted to fly. I think that would be amazing. That would be awesome. I was a basketball player my whole life, like I mentioned earlier, and Michael Jordan growing up was obviously my favorite player. Maybe not obvious to some of the youth nowadays, the LeBron James people nowadays, but my favorite player. And Space Jam is my favorite movie. And I think the ability to fly would just be incredible. Like, I can't imagine that. It's so crazy that when I was a kid and I was all into, superheroes or whatever the case is, Superman when I was younger was my favorite superhero. I would literally have dreams that I could fly. So the ability to fly would definitely be my answer for that one.